Have you ever wondered what the gaming world would look like without Super Mario Bros.? In the early 1980s, video games were at a breaking point. Years of poor quality games and an oversaturated market had left players and retailers disillusioned. It seemed as though the age of video games might be over. But in 1985, a new hero emerged, not in a comic book or a blockbuster movie, but in an 8-bit adventure game that would change everything. In this video, we'll dive deep into how Super Mario Bros. Revitalized an industry on the edge of collapse, defining standards for gameplay, creativity, and storytelling that still resonate today. From innovative game design to unforgettable characters, Super Mario Bros. Didn't just save video games, it shaped them into what they are today. Stick around, and let's uncover the legacy that has made this iconic game a cornerstone of both gaming and pop culture. To fully appreciate the impact of Super Mario Bros., we first need to understand the dire state of the video game industry before Mario arrived. By the early 1980s, the market was flooded with low-quality games. The sheer volume of poorly made titles caused players to lose faith in video games. The infamous release of games like E.T. the Extraterrestrial only worsened the situation, with many calling it one of the worst video games ever made. Retailers were left with unsold inventory, and companies began questioning the future of video games. The crisis, known as the video game crash of 1983, had severe effects on the industry, especially in the United States. Arcade revenues plummeted, and several game companies went bankrupt. Gaming consoles that had once been popular were now gathering dust on shelves. In short, it looked like the era of video games might be over, with players moving on and investors hesitating to fund new projects. But in 1985, Nintendo released Super Mario Bros. For the Nintendo Entertainment System, NES, in North America. This wasn't just another video game, it was something fresh, exciting, and most importantly, it was a high-quality game that truly engaged players. Nintendo didn't just aim to create a fun game, they saw an opportunity to change the industry's narrative and restore players' trust. Super Mario Bros. Captured imaginations in a way that previous games hadn't, offering players a polished, engaging, and thoroughly enjoyable experience. With this shift in the industry, Super Mario Bros. Would go on to define what players could expect from a well-crafted game, paving the way for the next chapter in video game history, a revolution in game design. One of the key reasons Super Mario Bros. Left such a lasting impact was its groundbreaking approach to game design. Super Mario Bros. Didn't rely on manuals or tutorials to teach players how to play. Instead, it used intuitive level design to guide players step by step, a revolutionary concept at the time. Take, for instance, the opening level, World 1-1, which has become one of the most famous levels in video game history. As soon as the game starts, players see Mario standing on the left side of the screen with no way to go but right. They encounter the first Goomba almost immediately, learning that touching an enemy without jumping on it will cause Mario to lose a life. Shortly after, players find question mark blocks, which reward them with power-ups and coins, encouraging exploration. Without a single line of text, players quickly understand how to run, jump, avoid hazards, and collect bonuses. The basic mechanics of the game are embedded within the design itself. Super Mario Bros. Also set new standards for fluid and responsive controls. Mario's movements feel natural and precise, allowing players to control his speed and jumps with ease. This control precision is key in platforming games, where a single misstep can lead to failure. Nintendo's attention to these details created a sense of immersion and mastery as players practiced their timing and control to navigate increasingly complex levels. Each level of Super Mario Bros. Presents a new challenge, building on what the player has learned in previous stages. The game introduces new obstacles, such as pipes, pits, and enemies with different behaviors, but always in a way that feels like a natural progression. This careful balance of familiar elements with new surprises keeps the gameplay engaging from start to finish. As players advance through the levels, they are motivated to improve their skills and explore new strategies, leading to a sense of accomplishment. Another innovation in Super Mario Bros. Is the concept of hidden secrets and shortcuts, which added depth to the gameplay. For instance, the hidden warp zones allowed skilled players to skip entire worlds, providing a reward for exploration and replayability. Discovering these secrets became part of the shared experience among players, leading to discussions and tips about the game's hidden features. This sense of discovery was revolutionary, offering players a reason to return to the game repeatedly. Nintendo's approach with Super Mario Bros. Transformed the way players interacted with games. It wasn't just about progressing through levels but about learning, mastering, and discovering elements that remain essential in game design to this day. By blending intuitive learning, precise controls, and hidden depth, Super Mario Bros. Not only defined the platforming genre but also set a new bar for game design. These qualities were key to capturing the attention of players and laying the foundation for future games, showing that a well-designed game could be engaging, challenging, and rewarding all at once. With Super Mario Bros., Nintendo didn't just create a popular game. They established a blueprint for the platforming genre and, more broadly, for interactive design itself. The success of Super Mario Bros. Cannot be understood without looking at the creative vision of its designer, Shigeru Miyamoto, and Nintendo's commitment to producing high-quality games. Miyamoto, who is often regarded as one of the most influential figures in the gaming industry, approached game design with a unique philosophy. For Miyamoto, games were not just about high scores or defeating enemies, they were about exploration, discovery, and the joy of experiencing new worlds. This philosophy is evident throughout Super Mario Bros. Miyamoto designed each level to feel like a journey, allowing players to explore various terrains, from green hills to underwater worlds and dark castles. The goal was not just to challenge players but to immerse them in a vibrant and engaging world. Miyamoto's focus on creating memorable experiences meant that every detail was carefully crafted, from the game's iconic music to Mario's distinct movements. Each element served to make players feel like they were part of an adventure, rather than simply completing a sequence of levels. Nintendo also played a critical role in fostering this focus on quality. At a time when the video game industry was plagued by rushed and poorly made products, Nintendo was determined to release games that were meticulously polished and enjoyable. With Super Mario Bros., they took extra measures to ensure that the game would meet their high standards. Nintendo knew that the game had to be exceptional to rebuild trust in video games, and they poured resources into refining every aspect of the experience. This dedication to quality became one of Nintendo's defining traits, helping to distinguish the company in an industry where many developers prioritized quantity over quality. Miyamoto and his team weren't interested in just creating another game, they wanted to set a new standard for what video games could be. The result was a game that not only captivated players but also became a benchmark for the industry, demonstrating that high-quality design and creativity could lead to commercial success. In many ways, Super Mario Bros. Represents the best of Miyamoto's philosophy and Nintendo's approach to game development. It was a labor of love that blended creativity, careful planning, and a passion for quality, setting a new course for the gaming industry and paving the way for future innovations. When Super Mario Bros. Was released in 1985, it didn't just become a popular game, it was a phenomenon that reshaped the entire industry. The Nintendo Entertainment System, NES, which had been bundled with Super Mario Bros., saw immense success in North America. This pairing proved to be a genius move, as it helped the NES console become a household item. The simplicity of plugging in the system and immediately playing Super Mario Bros. Won over players of all ages, transforming casual interest into widespread enthusiasm. The game's success directly boosted NES sales, making it one of the best-selling consoles of its time. But more importantly, Super Mario Bros. Reintroduced players to the idea that video games could be fun, challenging, and, above all, trustworthy. In a market scarred by low-quality products, Super Mario Bros. Was a shining example of what games could be: immersive, engaging, and meticulously crafted. Players who had grown disillusioned with video games after the 1983 crash found a reason to believe again. Nintendo's careful marketing and distribution strategy also contributed to Super Mario Bros.'s role in revitalizing the industry. By positioning the NES as an entertainment system rather than just a game console, Nintendo was able to sidestep the negative associations that had built up around video games. Nintendo marketed the NES as an experience for the whole family, with Super Mario Bros. As its standout title. This strategy not only boosted sales but helped reshape public perception, broadening the audience for video games. The success of Super Mario Bros. Created a ripple effect across the industry. With players and retailers once again excited about video games, developers were motivated to innovate and deliver higher quality experiences. The industry shifted its focus toward creating memorable and challenging games, leading to a resurgence in game development and a renewed confidence in the medium. In essence, Super Mario Bros. Didn't just rescue a struggling market, it laid the groundwork for future growth. By restoring faith in video games and setting high standards for design and quality, Super Mario Bros. Played a pivotal role in reshaping the industry into the thriving and diverse ecosystem it is today. The impact of Super Mario Bros. Reaches far beyond the gaming industry. It has become a cornerstone of popular culture and a symbol of the joy and creativity that games can bring. When Mario first appeared on screens, he was an unlikely hero, a humble plumber navigating a world of fantastical creatures and strange landscapes. But it was this relatable, everyman charm that made Mario an enduring character who resonated with audiences around the globe. As players guided Mario through his adventures, he became more than just a character, he became a beloved icon. Mario's influence quickly spread to other forms of media. From cartoons and comic books to merchandise and movies, Mario and the world of Super Mario Bros. Extended far beyond the console. Children wore Mario on their shirts, played with Mario toys, and watched Mario cartoons on Saturday mornings. The character's appeal transcended cultural and linguistic boundaries, making Mario recognizable to people of all ages and backgrounds. In a way, Mario became a universal language, a figure that anyone could identify with, whether or not they had ever picked up a controller. But the game's cultural legacy goes beyond its merchandise and media adaptations. Super Mario Bros. Established a new standard for storytelling and character-driven narratives in video games. It demonstrated that games could have characters and worlds that players could connect with, sparking an evolution in game design. The simplicity of Mario's story, rescuing Princess Peach from Bowser, laid the groundwork for more complex narratives and character development in future games, proving that even simple stories could create powerful connections with players. Additionally, Super Mario Bros. Inspired an entire generation of game developers, many of whom cite the game as a pivotal influence in their decision to pursue careers in game design. The game's balanced blend of intuitive gameplay, creative design, and memorable music provided a blueprint for future developers to follow. Mario's adventures taught them that a game could be more than a series of levels, it could be an experience, a journey, a world worth exploring. In this way, Super Mario Bros. Didn't just shape players, it shaped creators, many of whom would go on to create their own iconic games. The influence of Super Mario Bros. Can still be seen in modern gaming. Platformers, a genre largely defined by the game, continue to evolve and thrive, with elements like power-ups, hidden secrets, and carefully crafted levels that owe a debt to the original Super Mario Bros. And Mario himself remains a relevant character in gaming, with each new entry in the franchise bringing fresh experiences to both new players and longtime fans. The legacy of Super Mario Bros. Isn't just its historical importance, it's the timelessness of its design and the way it continues to inspire creativity across generations. In the end, Super Mario Bros. Is more than just a game, it's a cultural phenomenon that transformed how people see video games and what games can achieve. Mario's world is now part of our collective imagination, and his adventures will continue to be enjoyed by generations to come. Super Mario Bros. Is more than just a milestone in gaming history, it's a testament to the power of creativity, innovation, and vision. By transforming an industry on the brink of collapse, Mario and his 8-bit journey became symbols of resilience, showing that video games could be more than fleeting entertainment. They could inspire, connect, and resonate across generations. As we've seen, Super Mario Bros. Didn't just save video games, it changed them forever. Its impact on game design, storytelling, and character development continues to shape the experiences we love today. For countless players, Mario's journey through the Mushroom Kingdom was more than a game, it was the beginning of a lifelong passion for exploring new worlds and embracing challenges. So, what about you? How has Super Mario Bros. Impacted your gaming journey? Did it inspire you to explore more, or did it lead you to other adventures in gaming? Share your story in the comments below. We'd love to hear how this classic game influenced your experience. And if you're a fan of gaming history and want to dive deeper into the stories behind iconic titles, be sure to subscribe. Let's continue exploring the rich legacy of games together.